Welcome to the Vocal Lab podcast with your hosts Shelby Rollins and Jason Catrone, bringing you the best from the music industry. Get ready for first-class conversations packed with exclusive techniques and transformative insights, all designed to help you reach your top note. Hey everyone, welcome to today's show. We got a really big show. Who used to say that? Someone used to do that.
I don't know.
It's a really big show, you guys. We got a really big show.
Some talk show host?
Yeah, it was like an old school talk show host. Like what was the biggest one?
Jimmy.
Kimmel?
No. Came before
Ed Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan.
Was Ed Sullivan the guy that did that?
There was two of them though, kind of like Jay Leno. Right? Who was before Jay Leno on the Tonight Show?
Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson, not Jimmy. So it was Johnny. Was it Johnny Carson?
No, I think it was
Ed
Ed Sullivan. Was he talk like that?
Really big show.
Yeah, was it him? Apparently, that was the whole.
Can y'all hear the peanut gallery out there in the back?
So, listen. No, this is fascinating. I've never watched an Ed Sullivan show. Have you?
Well, no, because we weren't alive.
Well, of course, but
We're old. But we're not that old.
I'm gonna mute you every time you say we're old.
Every time. I think Johnny Carson was on the air when I was like a baby, but I grew up knowing, like watching the Tonight Show with Jay Leno and the Late Night with Dave Letterman.
David Letterman.
Yeah.
No, that's like saying you've never watched It's a Wonderful Life. We weren't alive then either. So I'm just saying, like,
shows, not movies. Anyway.
I know, but like, I've never done that. I feel like it would behoove us.
Well, you are an old soul, even if you're not old.
Totally.
Get on YouTube or Netflix.
Soul with a youthful heart.
And watch some Ed Sullivan episodes if you want to.
It's the yin and yang of my personality.
Yes, indeed. I told Jason the other day, what were you eating? You were eating pimento cheese. And he was like, do you like pimento cheese? I was like, I do like pimento cheese. I like really
But it was
cheese.
But tell him why I was talking about the pimento cheese.
He said it was the best pimento cheese he's ever bought at Publix, the grocery store.
Because it was elevated. It's not like your normal pimento cheese.
Because there wasn't as much mayo.
Yeah,
in it,
and it's
right?
like a $10 thing of pimento cheese. This little thing, this size.
Bougie pimento cheese.
Yeah, it was like $10. I'm like,
but pimento cheese is super southern. It is so southern, right?
For those of you around the world who don't even know what it is, it's cheddar cheese shreds with mayonnaise and pimentos. And I think
like
that's it,
chopped
right?
pimentos, which is like a sweet
pepper. That's all it's in it, right?
Well, probably different seasonings. So,
Maybe a little salt or pepper, but no pepper, maybe a little salt.
Well, I do think that people like have their own take on the recipe, and maybe some people add like dill and whatever to it.
It is fantastic.
Pimento cheese is good.
And people put it on burgers. You can put it on a grilled pimento cheese.
If Tanner listens to this episode, he's gonna like turn it off right away.
He hates pimento cheese.
Mayo.
Oh, my friend Kyla hates mayo.
Yeah, he's like.
Does he have a phobia?
Probably.
There is, Carlos, will you Google mayonnaise phobia? There's a term for it.
Oh, God.
My friend Kyla has it. If she sees it, she'll gag reflex, or she'll scream and like look the other way.
He'll eat like aiolis. You know what I mean? Like
She
a
won't
good
even-
garlic aioli.
Mayophobia.
Mayophobia. That's not nearly as interesting sounding as I thought. I just would have made
Maybe
that
I've looked at that and thought it was way more complicated to say than mayophobia.
Maybe you did.
It's a real thing.
How did we get here? How did we get to mayophobia?
Because I was eating pimento cheese, which you were getting ready to tell the people that...
I thought you're fascinating. You're the old soul, and it also interesting because, Jason, you're very bougie and like fancy and like a good martini in a suit, but you're also extremely southern and just like maybe a wee bit redneck, and you like your pimento cheese, but without a lot of mayo because you keep it classy. So southern.
I'm all things to all people.
You're from
really? You
farm.
think I'm southern?
You grew up in Kentucky on a farm and you have pigs.
No,
yes,
no. I grew up in the middle of our town. Didn't really grow up on the farm. We have one pig as of 8 years ago that someone gave us. We've only ever had show horses.
But
that's not. Yeah, there's an element to farming, but it's not like I'm out there like driving a tractor.
I get that there's like fancy horse races up north, but also like the big one is down here.
Also, this is fascinating.
The Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, the Kentucky Derby.
I think Kentucky is somewhat like half and half red and blue.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Because Kentucky, this is a real tangent, but Kentucky, I grew up not thinking we were Southern. Most of my friends don't. But now you have people. Accent. Yeah, but then you have people in Kentucky who think they are Southern. You have people who think they're Northern. It's because historically Kentucky was a neutral state during the Civil War. We were not North. We were neither North nor South.
Where's the Mason-Dixon?
That's like Missouri over that way.
my
Kentucky was a neutral
middle
state.
school history teachers are shuddering at the thought that I asked that question out loud and didn't know the answer.
Yeah. So you have people who fall on either side of that coin. You know, if you're like from, it depends. Yeah. Some people consider Kentucky Midwest.
Florida is like that, right? I mean, I grew up in Florida.
Florida's like that too.
Northern Florida is very southern in culture. Southern Florida is very northern in culture. So it's very much that's why it's a swing state in election season.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All that stuff's
You know what this
fascinating.
conversation feels like?
What?
The intros for our vocal lab reactions.
It sure does.
We talk about random stuff
You also
like
go,
Carlos's cats.
Yeah,
and
if y'all
stuff.
just want to like a fun, pass the time, be mindless, hop over to the YouTube channel and watch some reaction videos that we do because they are quite funny and fun and interesting as well. You learn cool things about the voice and
you live.
Amazing singers.
Yes. No matter where you live, whether it be Kentucky or Florida or the other side of the world, you do have to deal with, at some point in your hemisphere, cold and flu season.
Oh, you do.
Right? Currently, in our hemisphere, we are entering cold and flu season, I think as of like yesterday.
Yeah, it starts in October, runs through February.
Yep.
I always thought growing up that I got sick. I don't know why I thought this. I think because I was just constantly sick as a kid because my allergies were so bad. But it wasn't until a few years ago that I always thought, and it was actually Dr. Gupta that made the light bulb go off. I don't know why I didn't connect those dots, but I always thought the spring was the worst time for getting sick because of the new grasses and stuff. And that was only in my brain because I'm most allergic to grass.
Yep.
And so I'm only not allergic to two things. Guess what? Or as a kid, it's changed probably now, but as a kid when I took the test, because I was almost a bubble baby.
Oh,
it's very true. I didn't. This is sad. Everyone get your tissue. I wasn't allowed to go outside till I was about 8 or 9.
Are you serious?
I could in the winter. That's why I love winter sports because we got a lot of snow then in Kentucky. Like I grew up with tons of snow. Now we don't hardly get any. It's weird. Global warming, but. Don't open that topic.
Don't get political.
Don't get Shelby started.
Let's not talk about that.
We'll put a wall right here. No, seriously, we had so much snow growing up, and so I could go outside and play in the snow, but in the spring and summer, I would have to stay inside. And I remember as a kid looking out we had this big, huge bay window at my parents' house, and I would watch my friends outside playing and riding their bikes, and I couldn't do it.
Were you like depressed? Do you have trauma that we need to go back and heal little Jason?
There's probably things there that need to be uncovered. I've dealt with a lot of it, but eventually, early on, they thought it was a seizure thing because I had these major attacks. And then eventually they figured out it was allergies. And so I started shots. So I guess it's probably 7 or 8. So I was able to go outside eventually. But I've never mowed the grass because of that.
This is very sad.
Yeah. Well, no, that's actually,
that's kind of awesome, right?
Yeah. But the point is this.
What are you not allergic to? The two things you're not allergic to?
Horses.
I was going to guess horses.
Horses and cats.
Cats? Are you serious? You're not allergic to cats? I feel like people that have allergies are always allergic to cats.
I know. This is when we need Carlos's cats to walk into the room.
A little cameo. We'd have to. Carlos's cats are so famous. We'd have to pay them to walk through our studio
we can't afford them to be on the show.
We cannot afford Carlos's cats. Oh gosh. Anyway.
But it's fascinating. Those were the two things, and we had both.
So now, as an adult, how has that evolved? And
I guess dogs too. I'm allergic to dogs.
Well, you started to bring up Dr. Gupta, and she connected dots for you.
Well, I always thought because of that I was allergic to. Because it was everything, that was spring was the worst time for people getting sick. That was just my time as a kid because of allergens. But it's actually in the winter, this October through February, and allergies are actually the worst in the fall over spring.
I mean, I experienced my own.
The molds, the leaves falling, all the sponge,
a lot of
all
dusty
that
stuff in the air.
Yeah. So this is a big deal. So big, I saw it on the Today Show yesterday, and we're just as big as the Today Show. So here we go. You guys are getting first level advice here.
Yep.
How do you want to talk about this stuff?
Gosh. So.
Well, I think we start by this. If you like, I'll ask you, and then.
Par for the course.
Have you also noticed how I'm starting to wake up?
It's like, yeah.
I think we start here. We all have our own little concoctions that we like and we do over time through research, through trial and error, all the stuff. But Shelby and I definitely subscribe to the more natural approach to everything.
Yes. More holistic.
We're more holistic. Shelby's definitely further down that road than even I am, just because you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about it for my own self, but I'm not so much in the research side, and you will do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this episode, what we really want you guys to take away from this is the approach to be proactive with your vocal health and your overall health in general.
That's the thing. It's being proactive.
It's being proactive.
I learned really probably through like 2020, the year, not the TV show. Is that show still on? 2020?
Of course, that's a staple for ABC.
Barbara Walters, right? Wasn't that
Well,
Barbara?
she's dead. It was.
She's dead?
Barbara Walters died a couple years ago.
I missed that.
It used to be. She might have used to do it, but you know who? Huh. You know who did it for so long, and I've been on 2020 several times. Well, I've been behind the scenes.
Lord of mercy.
You have to know the answer to this.
I mean,
I used to stand in the control room and watch.
Why?
Diane Sawyer.
Oh, you do love Diane. And she's like your cousin or something, right? Second, third
we
cousin
love
once
Diane
removed.
Sawyer, yeah.
I forgot about that. I did know this, though. Okay, so anyway.
I've been to all her shows.
In 2020,
ABC News,
the year.
2020, Good Morning America.
The year that changed everything for everyone. I did start diving deeper into more holistic things. Even though I was interested in all that before, I went hard in the paint that year, so to speak.
I think a lot of people did.
Sure. So when I think you were, what was the original question? Like what some of my stuff is? Oh, I know what it was.
Oh, we were just saying
you
the
said
proactive approach.
That's what it was. So I learned what the medical term prophylactic means. And it is basically preventative care. Being
really?
Proactive. Yeah. Prophylactic
I thought
is a type
prophylactic was like a condom.
It is also that.
Oh.
Little double entendre for you.
Whoa. That's a good.
Prevent disease.
That's a good.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
That's a good. Wow, we just learned something.
Shelby, tell people about.
This is so, gosh, this is so on brand for me, okay? To say it, like, I had friends when I lived in New York. I was very naive and very young and sheltered and like conservative and whatever. And I was running around with some like hellions of some friends of mine who were like, they all worked at Guitar Center. I used to work at Guitar Center. It's a motley crew, okay? Great people though. And I learned all sorts of things about the big bad world with those people. But I had no idea what certain innuendos were or certain words. Like, I don't even want to say them because it feels too inappropriate. And this is not that kind of podcast. But I learned so much and they would laugh so
like a turtle
hard at
head.
me. What, did we talk about this at some point?
No, we may have. I feel like I've definitely brought this up with Katie one time.
I think that I might have been.
This came up
there
with
for the conversation.
with
It sounds
Carlos's
familiar.
and my old manager Jill. One time she didn't know what that meant, and it was like one of the funniest stories ever of my life. Trying to explain this to her.
Well, anyway. I would say things and they would like crack up because I didn't know what I had just said, and they were like, "Did you not know that that's what that means?" I'm like, "No." So
A lot
anyway,
of them are sexual for sure.
this is definitely on brand for me to not know that prophylactic meant that. Or was another
And it means
also
also that.
When
I didn't know it meant
used the
that.
term,
I knew it meant that.
Yours is the actual meaning, but the street meaning, like
the Urban Dictionary meaning.
Most doctors use it to refer to condoms, but the actual root meaning is what you said.
So what's funny is you knew what the root meaning was. I knew what the street was.
Yeah.
See, but that
Well,
proves the point. You do
again,
research.
it's
You do the
on brand.
research, and I do. I'm street smart.
Street smart, yes. And I do, you know, when I'm like advertising or whatever, marketing my own like niche as a vocal coach, I talk a lot about how I teach root, like functional vocal root cause type of training.
Huh.
So
I mean, I did live in LA, and I saw
just am who I
billboards
am.
all the time of stuff.
you did. But I lived in New York, so I learned stuff, but I
That's
didn't
true.
learn that. Anyway, okay, so the prophylactic, the preventative care, it's being more proactive to basically set yourself up, your immune system up to be healthy, to stay healthy, to avoid getting sick, right? And the best is the strongest offense is a good defense or something like that, right?
That's
the
true.
saying goes. So I started incorporating a lot of different supplements or herbal things or whatever, just lifestyle choices that increase my immune system. But the reality is, it's like you can take all the vitamin C that you want. If you are eating garbage, drinking heavily, it don't matter. Like, it's just like spitting in the wind. You're still going to get sick. And so you deal with the root, and that usually is nutrition and how you take care of your body, you can build a strong immune system. Now, there's so many external factors. There's hormones, there's chronic diseases, there's, all sorts of things like that play a very, very important role in our ability to stay healthy. So I'm not saying that
and genetics. Some people are just healthier than others.
Yeah. When we talk about this, nothing is a one size fits all. Please don't hear what we're not saying.
And we're not doctors.
We're not doctors.
Or nutritionists.
Big disclaimer.
Yeah.
These are things that are good practices for anybody, but nothing is a silver bullet.
Right.
You do need to consult with your trusted physician about these kinds of things and do the research for yourself. These are things that we're going to share are things that have been helpful, beneficial for us. My stuff has evolved too. Like, I do things differently now than I did even a year ago.
Totally.
So
when I think that's the main point in all of it is point A, be proactive about your health and your vocal health. Point B, find what works for you.
Yeah, because it's funny, we're talking about being healthy, but like the point of this is vocal health, right? But you can't have a healthy voice if your body's not healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where it starts. It all goes in hand. So, I think overall it's just having the mindset to stay healthy as opposed to just ignoring your health and just being like a leaf in the wind and just blowing from side to side.
Yeah.
It's easy to do, you guys. It's really easy and it's fun to do when you're in your teens and 20s and just living your best life with your friends and in college and going to shows and, but when you're trying to be a legit successful artist, it matters just as much then as it does when you're in your 80s.
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is if you're not healthy, you can't do the thing you want to do.
Right.
Effectively, right?
Yeah.
Or
especially when it comes to arts and singing.
Yeah. Obviously, you're going to be healthier in most cases at 20 than you might be at 80, and your voice is going to change and all that. But the point is, it's a mindset to take care of the instrument and to take care of your vessel, which is your body, so that you can do what you love to do as long as you're able to breathe and be on the planet and able to do it.
And I get asked a lot, I'm sure you do too, from clients, like, what do I do when I get sick? Like, how do I help nurse my voice back to health? I'm sick. And I cannot answer that question without first saying, this is what you need to do before you get sick so that you don't get sick.
Or even asking the question, what are you doing right now to take care of yourself? What are you eating? What are you drinking?
What are you presently?
Are you exercising? What's your lifestyle?
So it's like I divide this conversation into two sides. It's like there are things that you can do to help nurse your voice back to health faster, but then you also need to think long term and go, you cannot bounce from December to February from one cold to another cold to another cold. You've got to stop the cycle by addressing the root cause, which is the prophylactic health.
Today's show is sponsored by
Trojan.
Hey, call us.
What'd you say?
I said, hey, call us.
Please don't. I don't want to be attached to this, but I did make the joke myself, so whatever.
You know what?
Anyway.
The check was big enough.
So, so we brought some stuff. We have a few props, don't we?
We have some props here.
Throat coat wants to go into.
Well, one of the this is a good one. One of the best prophylactics for vocal health is our trusty friends from Traditional Medicinals.
I actually really like this brand, but that's not my favorite tea.
Throat coat's not my favorite either.
People love it or hate it. I find it to be somewhat of a polarizing tea. It makes me kind of numb.
It makes me
I don't like that.
It can give me a little phlegm, interestingly
Really?
enough. It can loosen up stuff so much that I feel it.
Oh, interesting. I never drink it.
I drink it because I like it. I like the way it tastes. I like that little herbal medicinal.
Yeah.
And so I drink it because of that, but I do not drink throat coat personally before a show. Now this is a great learning point here for everyone. As we said a minute ago, Find what works best for you and try it. Experiment with it.
Right.
Through experiment, because everyone talks about throat coat. Anytime you go to the studio, a nice studio, they're going to have it.
Throws out the
Everyone's
throat
like,
coat.
get your throat coat, get your Lay's potato chips, all things, right? And those things can work. But I, through trial and error, learned that this is not the best thing for me before I sing.
Yeah, same.
It's another herbal tea variety. But I do love this company.
I do too. I'm currently drinking a traditional medicinals tea. My preference in that realm is the Breathe Easy tea.
Yeah, and I like this one too.
It's called Breathe Easy. Is that Breathe Easy?
Is that
the one I brought?
Yeah, you made it for me.
Yeah. I didn't make it, but I brought you the tea bag.
Oh,
I didn't know
right.
if that's the one you used.
I thought you
it's like a mint and eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is a natural expectorant, so that's helpful for clearing out mucus. In case you're wondering what expectorants
They both have slippery elm in them, which
Yeah, which might be some of that coating sensation. And if it's, it can get a little bit overbearing, but I do like the Breathe Easy one. And then I put in liquid turmeric into mine. Would you like
demonstrate. I didn't do that.
So I love any form of turmeric, but especially a liquid form like this. You can get them in most like health stores. I actually bought this off Amazon.
And turmeric does what, Shelby?
It's a very potent anti-inflammatory. And in a liquid form, it's a bit more bioavailable, so I find it to be quicker to the vessel, if you will.
Yeah. And for those of you listening, pop over to YouTube if you want to have a visual for what we're doing here today, because we have props today.
Oh, right. Yeah.
This turmeric is the most potent turmeric in the world. It comes from India, and look how orange it is.
It's so orange.
Most turmeric in most parts of the world, especially in America, that we get is more the color of this like golden yellow. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
This is pure grade turmeric, and it takes the smallest, just a little pinhead on top of your eggs or in your food or in your drink. It's crazy.
Where'd you get it?
That's where I use. You don't want to know those answers. No, I get it from some company in California.
Oh.
I can get you the info, but we should read our little. One thing I love about this.
Oh yeah, they're very like
all the teas, yogi teas. They're ones,
so Enneagram 4.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
What's yours?
Mine says, "Are not flowers the stars of the earth?" By Clara Lucas Balfour. Are not flowers the stars of the earth?
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. I just love how like creative and like emo it is.
Right. Mine says, beauty is not caused, it is.
Ooh.
No, that's a good one.
It's very meta.
Emily Dickinson.
So yes, all the traditional medicinals have those like fun little quotes on the little tag of your tea bag. Anyway, now that we've talked about traditional medicinals enough, they should
give us a sponsorship. Yeah.
But I do love a good tea.
Sometimes I'll put oil of oregano in my teas.
Yeah, oregano is a great one.
It's a great one.
It's like antibacterial, antiviral. That's a good one that I have some oregano oil at home.
Also immune builder.
Yeah.
People have been using that one for centuries. All these things they have. That's the thing.
Yes.
But you get it in a little tincture like this. That's also love the word tincture.
It's a fun word.
It is a fun word. And then, you just drop it in your drinks or in your food, whatever.
It's very strong. It'll straight up taste like a calzone.
Yeah, it'll taste like a calzone.
What I will do with it is I'll drop one drop of oil into just a little bit of water and then just down it.
I like getting it over with like that, but I will burp that up for the rest of the day.
Yes,
that's true. Then I feel like a cow.
Or a calzone.
Hey, I also put these little vitamin C packets. Now I know some people love these, some don't. Try to find them that don't have sugar in them. This probably has sugar.
You gotta source some good.
Source some good ones. But this is one I had in the closet. It was a road purchase when I was in need. But I will start to do this daily as the weather changes because I'm a fair weather drinker. I don't know if that makes sense. That's probably not the way to say it. I drink based upon the weather. So meaning
you're a seasonal drinker.
When it's hot outside, I drink cold drinks. Right? So I have iced coffee, iced tea.
Yes.
When it's hot outside or cold outside, I flip it and I'll drink. So that shift hasn't happened yet. This morning I had my iced Americano.
Yeah.
Or iced espresso. When it gets cold out, there will be a day and it'll be a whole thing and I'll just flip and switch to hot coffee until it gets hot again, like spring. Yeah. So, but when that happens, I try to incorporate all these things because of this time frame of cold and flu season.
Right, it's easier to mix in.
It's where our respiratory systems really get affected through all the things. And so that's when I'll start including these tinctures, the little vitamin C packs.
This time of year, I will line up my kids like baby birds before school. And I literally drop stuff into their mouths.
Oh
I'm
my gosh, I bet they hate that.
Open it up. They don't like it. It's very true, but they've gotten used to it. And I know which little tincture each one of them likes more than the other. You know what I mean? But I'll give them elderberry. I will give them vitamin D. Is a really good one, especially in cold and flu season, because we're exposed to so much less natural sunlight. It's typically a time when you need to supplement it.
Yeah, I take vitamin D and C in like tablet form or capsule form with all my vitamins in the day.
I've got echinacea that I'll give them.
Echinacea.
Those are good,
elderberry.
just preventative. Like it helps them to not bring home the preschool, elementary school diseases, right? That are constantly like, you just wipe these kids' noses nonstop that time of year. And I used to constantly get whatever they got, even though, ironically, I took probably better care of my body than anybody else in my family, not to throw anybody under the bus, but I was always frustrated that I was the one that would get the sickest. And if mom goes down, it ain't good, okay? It's not good.
That's true.
I have started taking myself colostrum.
Yes.
Like a powdered colostrum that's like grass-fed. And I think I've been taking it for about a year. And last year, I didn't go down with any disease. I say disease so dramatically. I didn't get sick, right? I got the sniffles one time, but I never went down with something. I had one day where I felt a little, something's coming. And they all got all sorts of things. And I started giving it to them because I was like, I don't have time for this. Y'all need to go to school. But that was like the only thing that I really changed last cold and flu season. And I survived. So I'm a big advocate for that now. I love taking the colostrum. But I think one of the bigger...
I keep forgetting to order some.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, please do.
And maybe they'll sponsor us too. But I also think a big part of it is, like I mentioned, is diet. And so this time of year, one of the big reasons that people get sick too this time of year is we're coming into the like sugar overload months.
Yeah, sugars and
starting
dairies.
with like Halloween.
Yep.
And going all the way through
the holidays.
Even Valentine's Day. It's just nothing but sugar holidays. All sugar. Constantly.
Sugar and dairy. You put
more drinking.
Creams in your coffees, hot chocolates, and cheeses. You got cheese boards galore. I mean, I think
holiday food parties.
Where was I the other day and they had a cheese board? I'm like, are you kidding me? It was something dumb. It was like I was at like a Tractor Supply and there was a charcuterie board. It wasn't that, but it was something like that. I was like, this has gotten overboard.
They're trying to appeal to a different demographic.
Everything's a cheese board now, right?
Yeah.
And so all those things, you're right. We just get overloaded with it. And as you start to say, the drinking increases because of the weather and people are stuck at home. And I know I love a martini.
More holiday parties. It's just like there's a ton of different excuses to drink.
Yeah.
And so being really intentional and mindful about that is challenging for a lot of people. But the more I clean up my diet, the better my immune system functions all the time.
Well, that's just the way our bodies are built.
It is. This is every person, right? But I mean, I've gone real hardcore into like copious more amounts of protein and less sugar and carbs, even like fruit type sugar carbs, right? Vegetables and meat. I'm gonna level with you. I feel like I'm borderline carnivore some days.
No, I have several friends in that realm. I try to stick to that primarily.
Yeah.
But I'll cheat quite often because I'll have potato chips, things like fries, things like that. But I do primarily just have
cheat. I mean,
meats.
Yeah. But the pendulum has swung a lot, and it's made a huge impact on my overall health and my hormones. And my hormones have started to balance out more, which has also helped me to stay more healthy. So it's a ripple effect, right? But then when you get sick, we got to talk about that too. Like, what can you do if you're a singer and you're sick and you
one last thing real quick. I like my Shilajit.
Shilajit.
Yes.
I've never known how to say that.
Some people say Shilajit, some say Shilajit, some say
Shilajit. Shilajit to quit.
It's just this little thing.
Anybody?
It smells like tar.
Thank you.
Smell it. It's basically tar it's like a tar substance.
It does.
It's a tar type substance from the Himalayas.
It's giving tar.
It's from what I've been told, it's one of the only few things, maybe one or two, this and sea moss. There might be one or two other things.
I started taking sea moss.
This and sea moss are two of the best products still left on planet Earth that we continue to deplete of its resources that contain over 100 vitamins and minerals that our bodies need daily.
I've learned this about sea moss.
That's why they're so popular.
I get a lot of ads for sea moss supplement stuff all the
Well,
time
you can
on
thank
Instagram.
Hailey Bieber for that.
They what?
You can thank Hailey Bieber for that.
Oh, is she all about the sea moss?
Well, she started drinking that sea moss. She had them put sea moss in her smoothie at Erewhon.
Oh, you told me this.
Yeah.
This
now
is
you can get
familiar
your
now.
$24 smoothie.
Well, I decided to be like, all right, I'll take the bait. I'll try your sea moss.
Yeah.
It tastes kind of strange, not gonna
It
lie.
tastes like the sea.
Well, mine is like
moss.
a flavor. I think it's elderberry, but so it doesn't taste bad.
You
It's
just
the
take
texture.
it straight?
Yes, the texture is
It's
weird.
weird.
It's like somewhere between
like
applesauce and
gelatinous.
jelly.
Yeah.
And it's hard to swallow.
Yeah. Just put it in something.
That takes too many steps. I don't mind things that taste bad. And so like I'll take different things and people will be like, this one's kind of gross. I'll be like, watch me. I don't care.
One of my theater friends.
I will just down it.
One of my theater friends during the throes of COVID was stuck on the high-level floor of his apartment in New York City by himself and his cat.
Rough.
And I mean, to follow his journey on social media started out really funny because he started before COVID. He's a bigger guy and he's really funny. Like he's very comedic. And he was just taking things that taste bad, like these vitamin shots and things like all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And his reaction was just hilarious. And every time I think about things tasting bad, I go back to thinking of Josh.
Nice.
It's so funny. Side note, but
Yeah.
I can't do that. I've got to mix it with stuff.
I don't mind. I feel like that's too many steps. I don't have time for it. I'll just down the hatch. Let's get it over with. But once you do get sick,
Yeah.
and because it happens to everybody, even if you take really good care of yourself, it still happens to everybody. So then what do?
You
I've
go to
got
the doctor.
all sorts of things. Yes, go to your doctor if you feel like
I think
you
it's
need
bad
to.
enough. Yeah, let's go see a
I
physician.
will.
But
I usually won't, to be honest.
I try not to because I just know. I mean, in most cases, they're going to do the same thing. Like it happened the year before, the year before, the year before, the year before. So it's like I know kind of what to do now. And primarily, it's like rest, hydrate, electrolytes.
And then here's a Z-Pack
Add these
if you want
things. Well, yeah. I mean, if it gets
if you go to
bad
the
enough,
doctor.
yeah,
Right,
they'll do
right.
that. But I'm just saying, what I know to do is just take these steps.
Right.
As long as I don't have a fever of 104, I'm going to ride it out in most cases, right? Or if I'm not like, someone's putting knives in my stomach, like I'm just saying, like,
That's
there's
really
not
dramatic.
if there's not like a crazy pain or a high fever,
Yeah,
I'm going to stick to the natural route personally and ride out the storm,
totally.
right? If it progresses or gets worse, then I'll go. But yeah, I mean, I think once you are sick, it's like rest.
Yeah. I continue on with a lot of
Hydrate.
these things I've already talked about,
Yeah,
like
same.
the elderberry, the echinacea, the vitamin D. I'm continuing on with that.
Maybe
if
the
I'm sick.
thing I add to it is when I am sick is bone broth.
Yeah, I've added that.
That's where I go to as an additional like.
I start to add. Sometimes I'm adding glutathione,
Oh yeah.
more
my
more oregano
patches.
oil.
I wear
your
glutathione patches.
Yeah.
Shelby wears the patches.
Well, if I've got like a tickle in my throat or my throat's starting to hurt or scratchy in the back, I love to gargle warm salt water, and I'll add tea tree oil and sometimes oregano oil.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And gargle those things. I don't swallow that; I just spit it out. But that actually helps so much with a sore throat.
Yeah.
Neti pot or navage,
Yep.
which is also another preventative measure that you can take. In fact, I neti potted today. I navaged today, this morning because I was feeling like really,
Steaming.
steaming, hot
Feels
steamy
good.
shower for sure. Epsom salt baths, putting different things in an Epsom salt bath because it helps to draw things out of your body. And
My friend's roommate in
Detoxify.
college. This is a great story. My friend's roommate in college. It was at UK as well. A different friend than the story I've told before about the elevator.
that.
But just as
I remember.
interesting.
I bet some of our listeners remember that story.
Just as interesting, my friend's freshman year, living in these same towers. There were these 4 big towers. They're gone now. They tore them down. But her roommate, first semester, had all these pots and pans. You couldn't even cook in there. But she
Yeah.
had all these pots and pans. It was weird. And then, I don't know who could be at the door, but maybe Carlos will go. It's like Mr. Rogers.
That should be a segment.
And yeah. So then who's at the door? Maybe that's how we bring our guests on from now on.
Oh, there you go.
But her roommate had hemorrhoids, and she walked in one day and she had one of the big pots full of hot water with her butt just sitting in Epsom salt.
That's one natural way to deal with that problem.
In her college dorm room, taking care of her hemorrhoids.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. You can't make those things up.
That's
funny. That's
funny.
just real life there.
But can you just imagine walking in on that?
Yeah.
How strange.
Oh gosh.
Well, I also I bought, also in 2020, I bought a nebulizer.
Yeah, I still haven't bought one of those. I keep going to it.
And I've used it several times, and I nebulize the saline solution with hydrogen peroxide, food grade hydrogen peroxide, and then sometimes an essential oil, or I'll put colloidal silver is another thing that I would add to all of this.
I use colloidal silver.
Is colloidal silver. I have a spray, a nasal spray. I have a throat spray. I have, which I love to travel with, the nasal spray of colloidal silver. If I'm on an airplane, I'll just shoot that up my nose, kill some stuff.
Yeah, there's so many of these natural, options.
Yeah.
Again, I think the point is for everyone listening out there, is to just again be proactive and experiment with things that work best with your body. Advise a nutritionist or a naturopath, or your physician on some of these things. But most all this you pick up at your health store, Whole Body, or even at drugstores have most of this stuff.
A lot of it you can get on Amazon.
Get on Amazon, yeah.
Yeah.
And just try.
You
but
do have
be
to try.
healthy.
You have to figure out what moves the needle the best for you, because there's some stuff that works better for me and doesn't work as good for clients.
Sure.
And I'll give a client a suggestion and they'll be like, this one I loved,
And I think that's the point why you and I have gotten so much more passionate about this part of health over time, because we consistently see our clients that we love and believe in and trying to be their best not be healthy because they have bad habits in life in general, and especially when they're on the road.
Oh, it's so bad.
And Shelby and I have both had clients who've had to cancel massive shows where they've lost tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
it's kind of a big deal.
It was all stemming around their health and how that possibly could have been prevented.
Yeah.
Right? If the habits were better and if their mindset were in tune with that.
Because it's not just one thing. It's not just, I'm going to add turmeric into my ritual. It is all of it.
And it doesn't get fixed when it goes away immediately. You can't just call me and Shelby or your naturalist or your doctor or Dr. Gupta, whoever, your vocal doctor. There's a process to getting healthy again in most cases. It's not a quick fix. It's like, oh, I'm on this tour. We got a 30-show tour, and 2 weeks in, I've lost my voice.
And that's when people go get steroid shots a lot.
Yes, and because that can be a quick fix, and every singer out there knows that. But it is invasive in a way, and it is.
And it doesn't work for everybody.
It doesn't work for everybody,
and it can create a rebound effect.
Yes, and so there are risks with that treatment. But again, it is a thing, and every doctor's going to have that as a last-minute option. I've had to get them before. Carlos was with me. Didn't we tell that story one time?
I got one. I had straight up viral laryngitis. I got a steroid shot because I was up the creek right at that moment, and it did nothing.
You were doing a show?
It did nothing for me.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Mine didn't work either, did it, Carlos? Not really. It worked for a little bit. It was too late. So we were doing these shows. They're all these Christmas shows, no regular shows. We were in Texas.
You were about to start recording the Christmas.
I was about to start recording the Christmas record. That's why Christmas came in. And we were doing these shows in Texas at this theater. And Carlos was with us. That was his first gig. We told the burrito story. That's what we told. Anyway, we're in hill country, Texas, and there's all this stuff flying around in the air, and it just attacks me. And so
little bubble, Jason.
I lose my voice. I go to the doctor that they take me to get a steroid shot, thinking, okay, this is going to work because it's 3 tenors. There's only 3 of us. One goes down, it's still an issue.
Right.
You have 4 tenors, 1 goes down, you're good. 3 makes it tricky.
Yeah.
2 tenors, you should give up. 1 tenor, they're not worth anything. But to the point, I go to the doctor, and this was also this was 2015, I guess, or so. Yeah, 14? 2014. And so, everyone's heavy into social media at this point. And so I go in to get this steroid shot, and she's like, we're going to need to see your butt. And I'm like,
I know this story.
Everyone wants to. I thought I told you before, yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, I tried.
Everyone wants to. Exclusive. Did y'all catch that? Did you catch that? He said everyone wants to.
Yeah.
Jokes.
So they start to administer the shot of steroid, and I pull out my phone to film it. And
as one does.
The nurse was not happy with me at all. And she's like, you can't do that in here. I was like, I'm not going to get you in it. She's like, it doesn't matter. This is not like a I forgot she said, like, not a playroom or something. And I'm like, it's my butt. If I want to take a video of it, I feel like I should be able to. And she's like, sir, I need you to put your phone away.
Oh my God.
I was so mad at her.
You almost went to jail.
You know what? I would probably be a huge deal.
Yep. Missed opportunity.
Right? That was my moment to shine.
Shot also was in my arm.
What was? Oh.
My steroid shot.
See? They just wanted to touch it and see it. That was what I walked away with.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, I feel like
on that note,
we've given a lot of thought here on this topic today, and we have challenged and encouraged everyone out there to stay healthy, be healthy, follow along. Leave us comments, send your thoughts, your questions. Obviously, if you're a vocalist and needing someone to walk through this with you, not from the actual medicinal side of it, or naturally, if they're not medicines, what would you call it? Traditional medicines, I guess you could say.
You mean
like these aren't like,
like Mucinex? Those types of medicines?
I'm just saying we're not doctors and we're not nutritionists. So if you want someone who knows your voice and how to help you navigate staying vocally healthy, as well as some of these things, let me and Shelby know. We're here to help you.
And I hope that this is just sort of, because truly, this is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this conversation.
Yeah.
There's 101 other things that we could have said that have to do with detoxifying and grounding and all those kinds of things. You go way deeper into it, which is important. That I hope it just like triggers interest enough to start the process of research for yourself.
Maybe we'll do that segment in spring. We'll talk about those things as we go into spring.
Yeah.
Because better to ground yourself in the spring.
Oh, okay.
So you can do it anytime, but you know what I'm saying? That nice, fresh spring sun and smells and scents get your feet up.
But it's probably more important to go do that at this time of year because you have so much less sun.
That's true.
People are like, what are you talking about?
I know.
Grounding. Go stand outside barefoot.
Spring.
Just go outside barefoot in the sun and like
Vitamin G.
Ground.
Vitamin G, they call it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been fantastic. Let's stay healthy, Shelby. Cheers to staying healthy through this crazy cold and flu season. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Vocal Lab podcast. Ready to join the top ranks of the music industry? Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more first-class conversations that make the extraordinary your new ordinary. Until next time, keep striving for your top note.